There we go. Good Woch, everyone. Welcome. We've finished Sefer Bamidbar. Okay, let's a very interesting Sicha. Very interesting story about the Baal Shemtov. Once, a person asked the Baal Shem HaKodesh if he said a few words in Kriyat Shema and in the Tefillah without kavanah, in other words, his thought straight to other things. Is he allowed to repeat those words again and say in the kavanah? The Baal Shem HaKodesh gave him a fascinating answer. And he said, there is nothing, there's no reality, doesn't have the Metzias of Kodesh Baruch Hu. Even machshava chitzonis v'zara, even a foreign thought, also have holy sparks in it. If a person says a few words of the tefillah without meaning them, that particular thought has come to the person in order for that person to extricate from that foreign thought the holy sparks that are in it. So if he's going to repeat those words once again, in this he is basically showing that the first time he said it, when it was plagued with that foreign thought, there was no Metzias of Kadosh Baruch Hu there. And with this, he is belittling, as it were, the Metzias of Hashem Baruch. So Hashem will tell him, don't say it twice. Only repeat in your thought with great meaning those words that you said without kavanah. And just to add on to it, it says the Baal Shem HaKodesh said that a person at least has to say, be very careful to be medakdek. In other words, to keep in mind every single word of Kriyat Shema twice a day. Say it without any kind of foreign thought. He says this is a very, very great thing, because anybody who lanes Krishma, all the Masikim in the world, all the avenging angels, they let this person go, both physically and spiritually. You can show your faces so I can see that I'm speaking to somebody, not to black boxes. Chaim and Rabbi Wise. So there you go. The meaning of foreign thoughts in one's prayer. First of all, we have to touch this particular inyan of tefillah b'kavana and what are tefillahs that you say without actually meaning the words, that foreign thoughts actually enter the space of where your mind is at. So the thing is that when a person does something that should not have been done, can be thought, it can be speech, can be a deed. That particular thought or speech or deed, it goes up to the Shemayim. It immediately goes up to Kodesh Baruch Hu. In other words, it immediately attaches itself, goes up to the person's very source, his root. That's pshat, it goes up to the Shemayim. And it lays a claim, a patrimonial claim against that person. That person did me, that's the Avera, because the Avera now has a Metzias. A person he gets energy all the time from Kodesh Baruch Hu. And the food that he eats, the water that he drinks, the air that he breathes, so forth and so on. That energy is neutral, as it were. Just unformatted energy. I mean, it's not just energy, it is divine energy. Now, that particular divine energy is neither good nor bad. The thing that gives it form, that gives it a body, as it were, is anything that a person does that has a value in it, either good or bad. What happens is that an angel is a creature like all creations. It has a neshama of sorts. In other words, that's the spiritual part of it, and it has the guf, the body, as it were, which is the wick upon which the flame hangs on. Now, a person has a corporeal body. An angel, the body of an angel is a concept, a principle. So the energy that the person got from a Kodesh Baruch Hu, the life force the person got, is a neshama, an angelic neshama, as it were, that does not have a body. When a person does a deed, and that deed is good, what happens is that the person is creating an angelic body that is advocating for that person forever. He created a neshama. That neshama, you created it. I mean, an angel. You created this angel. This angel is now beholden to you. He's grateful to you. You have created it. Now, when somebody, chas v'chalila, does something negative, he creates an avenging angel. Chazal say it very plainly in Pirkei Avos. Anybody that does one mitzvah is creating, is buying, is acquiring an advocate. Anybody who chas v'chalila does an avera is acquiring to himself a prosecutor. That's the principle of what we said. Now, what happens is when a person does something that he should not have done, thought, speech, or deed, that angel goes up, that person's root goes up to the Shemayim, goes up to Kadosh Baruch Hu, and it proclaims that particular person made me. He created me. So now, being that that angel is that person's offspring, anybody who has ever been, who is a parent, who has the experience of parenting, of having children, that Hashem, each and every one of us will have children. The one thing that children do better than anything is demand. They demand attention and they demand nutrition. They demand sustenance. What happens to a person with children asking for food and he doesn't have extra food to give them? What do these children do? Well, it's very simple. They eat that person's food. So he doesn't eat, they eat. They eat and he doesn't. The same thing happens with this avenging angel. You created me, now give me sustenance. You don't have sustenance to give me? You have extra kedusha to share with me? Okay, I'll take from yours. And chas v'chalil, that can, put the person in danger. Well, Kodesh Baruch Hu, we say in the 13 midos sharachamim, in the slichas, we say in tshuva, kippur, it says noisa ovan v'pesha. Kodesh Baruch Hu is carrying, an affliction and crime. What does it mean he carries it? The meaning of it is when that angel that was created from the Avera, going back to Kodesh Baruch Hu, wants to go back to the person who created and take livelihood, take sustenance, take life force from that person. And the person doesn't have any extra life force to give it. Because Baruch Hu says, okay, you stay with me. Tells this angel, you stay with me. And the Kodesh Baruch Hu feeds this angel from the Kedusha. And that person and that angel is staying back Kodesh Baruch Hu until that person does something, the Kedusha, like davening, or saying Kriyat Shema, or learning, or doing any mitzvah. That is the most opportune time to annihilate and to undo that avenging angel. So Kadosh Baruch Hu at that point sends that angel to the person who has done that particular, who created that angel. Now, what is an angel as far as humans are concerned? An angel comes in the form of a thought. You're standing there, you're praying, you're davening, you're benching, you make a bracha rishona, bracha achrona, whatever it is that you do, b'kedusha, you do a mitzvah. So there comes a foreign thought in the middle of davening, of whatever it is. And you're supposed to fix it. Comes the question, how on earth am I supposed to fix it? I don't know which Aver that was. All I know that it confuses me from my davening. And it's very tempting. It's very attractive. It's very alluring. That's all I know. I don't know. How do you fix angels? I don't know how to fix angels. The answer is very simple. The way you fix that angel is completely disregard that thought. Don't fight it. Don't try to repeat it. Don't try to don't fight with it. But take your thought and put it on where you are holding. This is it. That fixes it. Now, that particular malach, that particular thought, wants to call you back, wants to take away from you the chayas that can continue to exist. So it causes in you the urge to look back to see if that thought has already gone away or not. What you need to do is to withstand that particular urge. Don't look at it. This is the metzius of foreign thoughts. Now, foreign thought is something that needs to be addressed, not in the form of fighting it or, moving your head. None of that. Just concentrate on what you're saying. If a person has a thought in his head that is improper, and this is the most common affliction of anybody stands every single day. I don't know how many times a day. The answer is stop. Stop thinking it. How do you stop thinking it? You think a different thought. That's it. No more. Don't shake your head. Don't do any of those things. Just think about something else. Whatever. Could be business, could be, I have to buy this, or whatever it is. Or whatever it is that you can, but don't think that thought. But being that thought is an angel, it comes to you and starts saying, but you already thought me, dummy. What do you think that you are fooling? You're deep into that for the past minute or two or 5 or 10 or half an hour, whatever it is. You've been enjoying me to the hilt. Now you want to stop? The answer is yes. It doesn't matter how long I have been thinking that particular thought. I have to say to myself, just stop now. That's it. I'm not supposed to go back. I'm not supposed to fix it. I'm not supposed to unscrew it. And just stop. No more. I'm not thinking that thought anymore. That's it. Person finds himself looking at something he should not be looking at. It doesn't matter how long after a person started looking like that he catches himself like, whoa, what am I doing? The minute that you do, stop. Now. That's it. Yeah, but it doesn't matter what you already. Now, stop. And there's a very important nakuda in this. the more a person gets into a thought, a fantasy, looking at things, getting into it, the more he is under the thumb of that particular angel. Meaning, the more difficult it is to break the spell, which means that breaking the spell after it already, you didn't pay attention and you stopped it, to break the spell requires a lot of ischaskos, a lot of strengthening yourself, to a resolve to stop. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to think that. I'm not going to look at what I'm looking, whatever it is. Now I'm stopping it. At any point in given time, you stop it, you save yourself. You give an tikkun to that particular avenging angel. You're correcting that particular avera that has created that angel, and that's the way that this is what Baal Shemtov is conveying here. Now, when that thing that Baal Shemtov said about, at the very least, say Kriyat Shema twice a day, b'kavona, without machshavas zaros, being that Kriyat Shema is not that long. Okay? So what you do, the secret to saying anything b'kavona is taking your time. The thing that pushes you off is the fact that, listen, I got to get it done. I have places to go. I'm very, very busy. I don't have time for this. But I have to do it. So just let's get it done. Okay, let's get it over with. Okay, come on. That is how it gets you. The way to do it, the way to be able to say Kriyat Shema b'chavona is to slow it down and say, now I'm giving myself whatever time I need to say Kriyat Shema b'chavona. And then the only thing that you do is you pay attention to what you're saying, word for word. Shema, here, Israel, Israel, whatever it is. Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem, who is Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Hashem is one. Bo Hashem Kvod Malchusay, be honored is the splendor of Malchus HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Lo Olam Vayed, which means forever and anywhere. Ve'ahavta, you should love. Es Hashem Elokecha, Hashem, who is your Lord. And like this, you go, you don't have to just say it. See what you mean. Like when you're speaking to somebody, unless you're drunk, there's either the affluence of alcohol or affluence of alcohol, you basically mean what you say, without a lot of effort. It's just automatic. Just say the words. Look at the words, connect your mind to them, and say them. That's it. Don't need any more than that. No kavana sarizal, none of that. This is the boot camp of Yiddishkeit, of being an Oved Hashem. That's the ABC. Everything stands on that. Mimela, this is where the ultimate battle is waged. Those avenging angels that emanate from one's averas are not going to give in, because if I think those thoughts, when I'm davening. In other words, it's able to distract me from davening and think those thoughts. It got me. I'm giving it more koyach. Not only am I not rectifying, I'm not fixing it, I'm actually giving it my own livelihood. Because davening is the time where you get fueled at the gas pump. Feel the chayai. Davening and praying to Hashem Yisbarach is my life. That's the thing that fuels me. That tops my tanks. Okay, Ad Kan, the Sicha, the Sipurey Baal Shemtov. Let's take a look at what Rabbeinu HaKodesh has to say to us tonight. Okay. We're talking about Sicha 189, Kuf Pei Tes. Once his grandchild, Zechol Levracha, was very ill with bubonic plague, and Rabbeinu, says Rav Nosson, was complaining before me that he has a great sorrow from this, a great big tsar from this. And then he told me as follows: there are the ways of Hashem that it's not possible to understand them. It is said by Arizal that one of his children passed away because of a secret that he told his student, Rabbi Chaim Vital. And the thing is that Arizal was compelled to tell him, because Rabbi Chaim Vital begged him. And when he begged him, he had to reveal it to him. Because he said the only reason why he came to this world, said Arizal, is only to fix the neshama of Rabbi Chaim Vital. Which means, Mishamayim, Arizal was compelled to reveal this secret. And still he was punished for it. Before he revealed the secret, he told Chaim Vital, says, don't ask me that. But Chaim Vital insisted. So he told him that secret. And then Arizal's son passed away. A different time, Chaim Vital is asked Arizal to reveal to him the secret of the heavenly doe giving birth that is bitten by the snake, whatever it is, the most profound Kabbalah secret. Arizal said, I'm telling you, do not insist that I tell you the secret. So Chaim Vital insisted, so he says, I'm telling you now. If you insist, I will tell you, but you will be very sorry that you insisted. But Chaim Vital insisted. So Arizal told him the secret, and he told him that now he, Arizal, will pass away because of that. Boom, that exploded Chaim Vital to smithereens. How sorry he was then. What can you do? He says he was still punished. He says, this is Darki Hashem, these are the ways of Hashem, that it's not possible to understand in one's seichel. B'shum often, there's no way you can understand. And what was explicit, was understood from Rabbeinu's words, is about himself. That all Rabbeinu's tsar, and all the suffering that and tsar, the tsar of his children made they live, everything was because he was dealing with us to get us close to Hashem Yisbarach. And even though Rabbeinu is compelled to do this, That's what Kodesh Baruch Hu wants. Because the Kodesh Baruch Hu thinks all the time, thoughts, he makes plans so that not a single soul will ever be lost. Nevertheless, he had unbelievable suffering because of that. Because death is Darkei Hashem. These are the ways of Hashem that cannot be understood. And he was telling more before me about his tsar that he has from that his grandson is sick. And he said that he wanted that he himself would be sick instead of the baby. He said that he feels every single side that the baby is sighing, and he krechts in his heart. Rabbeinu says, however, this would be, a meritorious point for me, that when other person comes to me, and he also has a sick person in his house, and he gives me a pidyon, or he asks me to daven for him, I also have exactly the same kind of tzar, like that he has about his grandson or his children. And he says, I have the same tsar mamash that when any one of Rabbeinu's people that was close is getting far away. And I heard from one person, one of the simplest people, one of the smallest people, Rabbeinu's people, that he also heard from Rabbeinu about this particular Indian, Rabbeinu's illustrious son, Rabbi Shlomo Ephraim. Rabbeinu said, if that child would have lived, it is not possible to comprehend the human mind what would have been in the world. Shlomo Ephraim, we have Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef. Shlomo was the son of David. Ephraim was the son of Yosef. His son Shlomo Ephraim, you can understand what he was supposed to be. He says that he has tremendous yisurim for us. Rabbeinu is going through tremendous suffering because for us. He says, look at the Arizal Zichron Livracha. He just revealed one secret, and he had such an unbelievable punishment. How much more am I that I've revealed to you so many secrets? What Rabbeinu is saying here is staggering, because Arizal revealed more than just one secret. That the secret that he revealed, with which he was punished, that child has passed away, was obviously on a level that it applies on that particular level of secret, that the tzaddik has to be punished, which just amazing kind of midas hadin. Rabbeinu says Arizal revealed one such secret. And he said, how much more so I, that Rabbeinu said, revealed so many secrets to you. Which means that every single thing that Rabbeinu HaKodesh has revealed to us is a secret that a tzaddik lo leiv lalech has to go through unbelievable suffering as a punishment for revealing that secret in the world. Where's Zoche Baruch Hashem? We have such a Rebbe that the level of the secrets that he was revealing, he says, Arizal revealed one secret and I revealed so many, that every single secret Rabbeinu has revealed to us, even in a Sichos Haran, even just, talking about mundane things, as it were. There are secrets in it that are greater from the deepest Torah of all other tzaddikim. Because, come on, man. I mean, you're exaggerating. There you go again. There you go again. No, 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 no. You have to understand the main thing that makes a level of Torah higher is not necessarily just that it's because more complex or it's more eloquently stated, but it is said with such a level of truth that no other tzaddik can match. All the tzaddikim are true. Everything that all the tzaddikim say is the truth. But the truth has infinite levels. Obviously, the truth of human being and the truth of Hashem Yisbarach is not the same thing. In between this and this, there are limitless levels of truth. Rabbeinu says that the only difference between tzaddikim is that level of truth that they possess. And he says that the tzaddik who is, I'm not just, a tzaddik who is, number 1 to tzaddik 758. No, he says every tzaddik who is above, that tzaddik, he says the truth his truth is greater than the tzaddik below him. What that does is that a dibur, a singles dibur, that tzaddik on a higher level is saying, b'milachol, in mundane matters, is more precious than a Torah that is revealed by a tzaddik who's in the lower level, one level below. And there is above and above and above and above. It's not like, hey, man, my tzaddik is the one, he's really hot, and your tzaddik ain't diddly squat. This is not what it's about. It's not about, my team, will beat your team. No, that's not what it's about. These are things that we need to know because we need the highest level of truth because we are steeped so low, mired in our lives. And Rabbeinu says the more sick a person knows he is, the bigger a doctor he needs to seek. It's not what kind of brand name tzaddik we're talking about. My group is much better than your group. My man is way bigger than your man. It's not about that. But it's important that we realize and we'll look for the tzaddik emes. And we say it must be, and you need to recognize it. It's exactly what Yosef HaTzadik did with their brothers. Because when you're thinking about, Pashas Vayeshev, Yosef is telling the brothers, listen, there's a dream. He tells them 2 dreams. One of them that their sheaves of wheat bow to his. The other one that the moon and the sun and 11 stars bow down to him. And he freaks them out. He says, "Well, you're supposed to be. You want to be the king over us. You say that you're, number 1." They became very upset. That led to him being sold to Egypt. Why did he do this? It's Yosef HaTzadik. Why did he do this? The answer is they had to know. They were not prepared to receive that information, so they had to come to Mitzrayim to bow down to him and then to actually say, yeah, we are, let us be slaves to you. We're mekabel your kingdom, your kingship upon us. He had to be sold. He had to be in Egypt. Yaakov Avinu had to missing for 22 years until the brothers came and they received his kingdom upon them. It all could have been prevented if when he told his brothers, I had a dream that your sheaves are bowing down to my sheaf of wheat, and the sun and the moon and the 11 stars are bowing down to me. They should, at that point, should have said, okay, you are the tzaddik emes. we had to receive from you. They were all huge tzaddikim. They were bigger than all the tzaddikim today and yesteryear. The Shvatim, okay? And they could not be machnia, and put themselves down before the tzaddik emes. You have to know who the tzaddik emes is. You have to receive from him. If a person lets his Yetzer Hara, doesn't matter what the tzaddik, how big a tzaddik he is. We're not any, the Shvatim, the holy tribes, they fell into this. That was this stumbling block. They would not receive the malchus of the tzaddik emes. Ultimately, they did, but after all these trials and tribulations that they had to go through. We need to bear Kodesh Baruch Hu to bring us to the tzaddik, to believe in the kedusha of the tzaddik, in the mila of the tzaddik, in the koyach of the tzaddik, the emes of the tzaddik, that we cannot comprehend. But we need to believe it all out so we can receive from him. So he can be our melech, and when he is our melech, and we are his slaves, as it were, we are his servants. What that does is, just a second. What that does, it allows him to move us the way that your brain moves your hand. We need a tikkun. Our brains are corrupt. If it's left to us, Shem Yerachem, what's going to happen to us? But we're mevatel ourselves to the tzaddik when we coronate the tzaddik upon us. We become his limbs. My hand doesn't have its own will. If it does, it becomes Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the Bomb. Anybody remember that particular movie? Peter Sellers was playing this Nazi that the hand he had the hand that has its own will. Remember that. My hand does not have its own will. It's completely subordinate to my mind. When I subordinate myself to the tzaddik, I become like his hand. I can get the full tikkun from him. We can start a whole sikha about that, but it's already late. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. B'ezrat Hashem, b'li neder, Monday nights, we'll meet again. Now, again, I want to repeat it. Being that I'm spending Shabbosim basically in Rabbi Shemesh Aleph, so the shiurim on Motzei Shabbos will be starting a bit later, like it did today, like 9:30, unless I manage to do the shiur from over there, which I don't know how possible it is. Then it may be a bit early, but this is basically the way it is. Thank you very much. This is the end of the shiur for tonight, B'ezrat Hashem.